Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching the morning show with me, Biola Labi. I'm still here with my security expert and former Assistant Director of Investigation and Intelligence, Nigerian State Security Services, Mr. Dennis Amachree. Mr. Dennis, I want to go back to where we left off, which is really about the fact that the relationship between the cattle herders and the cattle is a unique one.
Right.
And then basically what you've told us is that it's not seen as sort of a one-time thing, or it's something that lives with them for many, many years and feeds the family and everything. So it's almost like an employer-employee relationship.
That's what it is.
Throughout the life cycle of the cattle.
That's what it is, because they depend on it, and the cattle depend on them to carry them to greener pastures where they could eat. And then as the certification starts to come into play, they have to move them.
To different places.
Yes, to greener pastures. So, and that is the major issue, where they have to, on their way, on their movements, they run through farmlands.
Yes.
And as they pass through the farmlands, they are very voracious, because to maintain that body weight, you have to
Well, you're
eat.
feeding like a bunch of people every day.
Exactly.
I want to shift gears a bit and talk to you about the numbers from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project.
Yeah.
They said that from January to April, Fulani ethnic militias have killed 217 civilians, while Boko Haram, during that same period, killed 78 civilians.
Yes.
When you go out of globally, when people are talking about terrorism, the one thing they always focus on is Boko Haram.
Yes.
Boko Haram is globally known, they're globally listed, but when you talk about the number of deaths resulting from the Fulani herdsmen, how is it that the magnitude of this is not being felt globally and also locally?
Well, globally, it is felt already, because the global
community
security index, the global index had already, terrorism index, had already listed the Fulani herdsmen as one of the most vicious terrorist groups in the world. In Nigeria, we have refused to call them a terrorist group. And that is why some other groups like the Niger Delta militants or IPOB, are being branded, in haste. They brand them as terrorists, but this particular group is not branded as terrorists. And
why what's the reluctance? Why are we not calling them terrorists?
I think there are many things. There are many variables there. If you remember very well, they were not as vicious as they were until this present government come into play. And now, falsely or rightly, the people are saying that they are doing this because the president himself is a Fulani. He's a cattle Fulani, because he also have a herd. So the impunity right now, because like you can see where the chairman or the leader of Mieti Allah, Danladi Shiroma, although he has denied it, came up with that statement.
Yes.
Okay, let's say that he didn't say that they killed them retaliatorily, but what was the reason? People actually died.
Yes.
So why are these people? And of course, one important thing from that statement is that he knows who did it, and it was Fulani herdsmen. So I think the security agencies should invite him for a very serious interrogation to tell us more about what he knows.
I think that's,
because we cannot keep on choosing some people as sacred cows, while other people are easily arrested. But people like this will say whatever they like to say, and they are moving around the society. It's not good for this country.
What do you believe the implication will be in Nigeria if we were to call them a terrorist organization? How can that help move this conversation
forward? For you to be branded a terrorist organization, there are certain things that will happen. And those will be like, it will affect even the economy of the country, whereby many companies, international companies coming into Nigeria are going to be warned about this particular group. And they will tell them, just like when the Niger Delta militancy was on, it even raised the insurance premium for ships that are coming into Nigeria. And if the premium for ships are raised, then it will reflect in the
economy.
cost of, exactly. So these are the kinds of things that could happen. That's one. And then, of course, that area where those people operate will be now marked as red zones, where you don't have to go and just avoid those areas. You'll see either embassies or consulates in the country are going to give out notification to their citizens that this area is dangerous, don't go there. So, and that also includes economic activities that will follow that area. So that is.
So those are some of the things that the Nigerian government might be willing to,
yes,
might be trying to avoid.
Trying to avoid, and then at the same time, when the Nigerian government try to avoid that kind of stuff, they also should remember that the Nigerian people are also looking and saying that the president must be partial. Because these are his people, and instead of dealing with them with the full weight of the law, he is now dealing with them in kid's glove, and then, of course, they become sacred cows. No pun intended.
No, there's huge criticism about the president not responding.
Yes.
And the president has said in different ways that people want him to respond because he looks like them. So he is saying, obviously, because he's a Fulani, people want him to react.
Yes.
But people are saying that's not the case. What we're saying is that there's been a massacre.
Yes.
There's been a crime. Have there been any arrests? And if you were talking to the president, what would you advise him to do?
First of all, I'll tell him to be very, very fair. I will hold him responsible for the statement he made that it's not for everybody and it's not for any one person, or so I will hold him to that statement. Yeah. You are not for everybody, or you are not for some people, and you're not for everybody. You are for everybody, and you're not for some people. So why is it that these people are doing this and the full weight of the law is not visited on them? The security agencies... I
mean, killing people is a crime in Nigeria.
Yes, of course, it's a big crime. And not even killing them. Not one person or two persons, but you are killing...
It's a massacre.
A massacre, And then people are already saying that it's an ethnic cleansing. And then... you come back and some of his press people are saying that, during PDP, more people were killed and more people were killed now. And I think that was very insensitive because then you are not thinking of the dead people. You are politicizing the situation. And we don't expect the president to politicize this. We want him to go there, use all his security people and nip this in the bud.
But I have another question for you.
Yes.
What is happening when these massacres are happening? What are local security officers doing? What are policemen doing? Where are they?
The police, I could tell you right now that the police are very, very thinly spread across the country. They are very, very thinly spread because they cannot handle it. The Plateau case is in point where 11 villages were being ravaged in so many local governments, and they were not there. They were sleeping until the next day. Chibok girls were carted away, 200 and something of them. In fact, they didn't kill them, because if they killed them, we will be having the same kind of numbers that just died now. Dapchi girls, the same thing.
Same thing.
So you find out that the police have to be restructured. The police, this colonial structure that has been given to us, is out of date. They cannot monitor, they cannot police the communities. And that's why people are saying, let's have state police, let's have community policing, so that these people are right there in the communities and they can react quickly. First responders, or, quickly inform the real police to come. But in this kind of situation where the communities are left on their own, unarmed, it becomes a very big problem.
We're going to go on a quick break. When I come back, I want to talk to you more about restructuring the security services in Nigeria. But also, I want to talk to you about what type of arrests are being made and what can we expect from people.
Okay.
So when I come back, I'll have more conversations on the issues of security in Nigeria. Please stay tuned.